Hi there. My name is Mikko Hyppönen. I am the Chief Research Officer for WithSecure, and I'm here with Paolo Palumbo, the Vice President for WithSecure Intelligence. And this is all about predictions. Predictions for 2025. Paolo, aren't you bored with predictions?
Unfortunately, I am quite a lot.
Yeah.
And good to be here, by the way.
It seems that every year, towards the end of the year, every cybersecurity company produces a video about predictions on what's going to happen with the next year. And we're not going to do that. Instead, let's talk about the worst predictions we've ever had or heard or seen. Paolo, what comes to mind?
We could speak about the fact that mobile threats have not been that absolute disaster that we were expecting them to be a few years back, right?
That's right.
In many ways, I feel that this is also the result of the security models of mobile devices being improving, and also that companies know how to work better with mobile devices. But I could go on with other.
Let me add on the mobile thing, because I very well remember how we used to think it's going to be really bad, and it wasn't really bad in the end. Now, iPhone came out in 2007. Before that, king of the hill was Symbian, the Nokia-made devices mostly. And I'd like to think the reason why this mobile phone disaster never happened was that we fixed it. We had very real Bluetooth worm outbreaks straight from one handset to another. Simply being too close to an infected handset could spread the malware. And this was changed. The protocol level, the way these devices behave when you don't want to receive a Bluetooth file transfer was changed. And the end result largely was that we never got the Bluetooth worms as a real-world problem.
I completely agree. Of course, we need to be careful not to say that there's no security risk with mobile devices. That's not what we're saying. But the doom and gloom that we were expecting to see all those years back has luckily not become reality.
That's true. That's true. Although, I mean, we could still see, let's say, protocol level exploits on the Wi-Fi stack of the device, which could mean that we could see widespread mobile phone worms today, which would spread simply by being too close to infected devices. It could still happen, but it would be so much harder to do because the level of security we have in our mobile devices today is so
and the
good.
purpose, the value for the threat actors, would be questionable in this case, of course.
That's true as well. Let me work on that. A little over 10 years ago, a professor I know made a forecast that internet itself is going to crash. Maybe 15 years ago, or something like that. And I remember thinking that, he's right. I mean, technically, of course, you could crash the internet. If not the whole internet at every single service, at least the crucial services like, DNS or big part of the web or big part of the web caching or maybe email. And we haven't seen that. And I think the explanation why we haven't seen it, why that prediction was wrong is very simple. What's the motive? Like, why would someone crash the internet? Criminals don't want to crash the internet.
Exactly,
they want to make money. They want the internet to run so they can make money.
Exactly.
Intelligence agencies don't want to crash the internet. They use it to spy. Hackers, the last thing they want to do is crash the internet. They love the internet. So it really is, it's a question of motives.
Yeah, I agree. And this is something we've been saying now for years, that this is the case. And maybe I'll poke you here. What do you think about the threat of artificial intelligence? I think there have been predictions about the coming of an incredibly sophisticated general purpose artificial intelligence that would, say, take away all of our defenses. But we've not seen that yet, have we?
Well, the generative AI revolution is in the very beginning, and I think that ball is probably still out of the court. I hear what you're saying. I mean, when we look at machine learning and simpler forms of AI, which we've had for years, clearly nothing like this has been possible. But now, with its upcoming technologies, we for the first time have a technological revolution which can improve itself. You could take the source code of large language model and show it to the large language model, and it would understand how it itself has been built, which means it can improve itself. And then you can repeat this like a billion times. So you could easily see that it could become something which would be much more intelligent than what it is right now. And it would be built by itself, which means we no longer understand exactly how it works. So I think even though we haven't seen it yet, I probably wouldn't want to call that as a failed forecast.
I would agree with that. I have to say that the potential for the threat is still there. Maybe the timeline was not entirely accurate.
Remember rootkits and how they were supposed to change the world for the worse?
Yes, they did. They did change the world, but for the better, because thanks to what we saw back in the days with the damage created by rootkits, then many improvements were made to the platform we use today.
I guess we have to explain to the audience a little bit about what we mean rootkits here. Around 2005, we started seeing more and more, especially Windows malware, which was actively hiding itself from the system. So whenever you would look for the files or the registries or the processes or the open ports, they wouldn't be there. So it was actually hiding itself. That's what
correct.
And that was a very real problem for a brief moment in time.
Yeah, for a few, I would say 5-6 years, they were extremely popular among threat actors.
So why aren't they a problem anymore?
I think the advancement in operating system security have essentially made it so difficult for somebody to produce and use that kind of technology that we go back to the topic of motive, right? And the value. Threat actors find better ways to achieve the same results that are way less sophisticated and cost intensive.
Sure.
Right?
And I guess that's an example of a forecast we've done, which didn't turn out to be true, at least not in the long run. Forecasting the future is hard. But I'd like to end with the general note that cybersecurity is in a better shape today than it's ever been, which doesn't feel like it, because the news are filled with stories about ransomware and data leaks and data breaches. But if you just look at the security level of the computer you're working with today and you were working with 10 years ago, it's like night and day.
Yes.
10 years ago, we still had you were getting infected by browsing the web.
Correct. But to be fair, you're right. And the fact is that we are often in the middle of it, and it's very difficult to appreciate how things have improved over time. So it's not doom and gloom, it's positive progress, so we should look at that as our prediction, perhaps.
My name is Mikko Hyppönen, he is Paolo Palumbo, this is WithSecure, and we are not making predictions for cybersecurity in 2025.
Thank you.